Now, before jumping into the next part, that is how to create and package and module of your own, we should be knowing some differences between what is a Python script and what is a Python notebook file. So we have been working with .ipynb, that is a Jupyter notebook extension, and you should be also knowing about .py. We have already discussed it before once we were learning about uh, IDEs, but let's have a quick recap of all of these, and then we are going to look into some of the command line basic code that you should be knowing out. So let's start with the difference between what is IPy and what is .ipynb. So IPy, that is .py, stands for Python, and IPynb stands for Interactive Python Notebook. What's basically the difference between them? .py is for the script files. Okay, so it is just a regular Python file. It contains plain text, that is just your code, nothing else. It cannot have any cells, it cannot have the functionality of cells particularly. And understand it more of like a notepad if you look into notepad, or if you have used Sublime Text. So those are IDs that are more of an text ID. Okay, so over there what you have to do is you just have to write your code cells that will be in a basically a plain text format. You don't have the functionality of cells over there. Okay, and if you want to execute it for automation, .py file is something that we use. But for data analytics, somewhere where you need input and output statement in the same place, that is where we use notebook files. So we have been using notebook files. Why? Because we needed the input and output in the same place, and if you are moving into the field of data sector, so notebook files are something, notebook ID is something that you are going to use a lot and a lot, and .py is something that you are going to use a lot when particularly you are in software development field or automation field. Okay, but yeah, there are also use cases where we use .py file in our uh, data sector also, and we use IPynb file in our software development field. So it totally depends. I'm only talking about the majority part. So IPynb file we have been using a lot. We can create cells. Those are basically in the format of notebook code, the execution results, and the other internal setting in a specific format. You can run IPynb file on the Jupyter environment. But to run out the .py file, there's a different way you can run out .py file, that is the script file from the command prompt only. Okay, so let's jump into our command prompt in our next video and look into more about it. Now in our next video, what all we are going to look into, we are going to look into some of the CMD commands basics that you should be knowing now, and how to execute an Python script file. And after that we are going to learn about how to create a package of your own. So let's catch up in our next video.